Hi everyone, I'm Reha. Welcome back to our musical journey. We're continuing with Arnold Schoenberg's theory of harmony, and this is already episode 7 in the series. In our last episode, we talked about triad inversions and how to use triads effectively in real musical phrases. If that's a little fuzzy in your memory, feel free to go back and review the previous lesson. Today, we're expanding our harmonic toolbox with something a little more dramatic, the 7th chord. So, what exactly is a 7th chord? Well, it's just a regular triad, but with one extra third stacked on top. That top note lands a 7th above the root, hence the name. The catch? That 7th is a dissonance, and dissonances don't just hang around for no reason, they demand resolution. Why do we even want to use dissonances like this? Because music isn't just about sounding pretty, it's about tension and release. That dissonant 7th creates a sense of anticipation, and resolving it gives us that deeply satisfying feeling, like solving a puzzle or finally scratching an itch. Take this example. Say you have an F in your melody and want to resolve to E. You can harmonize the F with a dominant 7th chord and resolve the E with a tonic chord. Boom! You've just turned two simple notes into an emotional moment. Let's hear how a dominant 7th resolves to a tonic. Pay attention to how that dissonant F resolves downward to the peaceful E. That's harmonic satisfaction right there. Now, let's take a quick look at inversions of 7th chords. The first inversion happens when you move the root up an octave, making the third the bass note. From the bass, the other chord tones are a third, fifth, and sixth above, hence the name 5-6 chord. For the second inversion, move the third up an octave as well. The fifth becomes the bass, and now the intervals above are a third, fourth, and sixth. This is your 4-3 chord. And finally, the third inversion. Bump the fifth up an octave too, so the 7th becomes the bass. The intervals above now are a second, fourth, and sixth. This one's simply called the 2 chord. Easy to remember once you see the pattern. Now, let's talk about how to prepare and resolve those 7th chords. The general principle is the same as when we dealt with diminished fifths earlier. Dissonances must be prepared and then resolved. For preparation, the dissonant 7th should already appear in the previous chord, but as a consonance. Then, you simply hold that note into the next chord, where it becomes a dissonance. As for resolution, just let it step down by a second. That's it. No need to overthink. You can also follow the tried and true method of root motion down a fifth, or up a fourth, for a stronger resolution. For instance, take a look at the example on the right. We're preparing and resolving a C in a 2/7 chord. You'll see that the C is already there in the previous chord, and then it steps down. Let's hear how that sounds. Whether you're using triads, 7th chords, or their inversions, you can freely mix and match, as long as you properly prepare and resolve all dissonances. Let's go through a few examples. If you're using a 7th degree triad, make sure the diminished fifth in it is prepared and resolved. If you use a 7th chord, the 7th must resolve. If you're using a 7th degree 7th chord, lucky you, you've got both a diminished fifth and a 7th to handle. In short, resolving dissonance is priority number 1 at this stage. Everything else, doubling rules, omitted tones, all of it, can take a back seat for now. That's why you can sometimes break a few old rules. Go ahead and double the third, or omit the third or fifth from your 7th chord if needed.
Why?
Because the harmonic function is still clear as long as the dissonance resolves properly. Alright, that's a wrap for this episode on Schoenberg's harmony theory. If you're up for it, I encourage you to try writing short chord progressions using triads, 7th chords, and their inversions. Practice in different major keys and let your ears guide you. Also, don't forget to check out my other videos where I break down some classic pieces, perfect for inspiration between theory sessions.
I'm Reha.
If you want to take your understanding of composition and harmony to the next level, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.